Sorry, I am still moving my chair around a little bit. I didn't have everything where I needed it. Excuse me. Still a little froggy, but we are pretty much back to good. Um, and it's Thursday, so it's Reddit stories. Thank you to everybody who hung out with me last night on the other channel. Um, yeah, so that children's story got to me, and I think it got to a couple of other folks too. So I'm sorry if I made you cry, but only a little bit because I made me cry too. Um, so anyway, back to the fun. It's Reddit. It's Reddit tonight, and everything we're going to read tonight comes from malicious compliance. And yeah, so as always, when you guys get here, say hey in the chat so I can say hey back to you or give you a smile. Um, and we'll keep going. Please do all of the YouTube things like, share, subscribe, um, all the stuff. This is just, it's like half the Kroger version of Mountain Dew and half lemon lime water. Hey, Todd the Fox Music. Thank you for jumping on. Um, so we are going to, I thought I had some saved. I don't know what happened the other day when I saved them, but they're not here. So we're going to find some new ones because why not? Cope and adjust, right? Cope and adjust. So I picked, had them sorted by the top from the last year. So we'll see what is here. But this first one says, you don't want me to help them when they come over? Fine. I won't help them when they come over. Ooh, okay. So, yeah. This story starts way before 2023, but the crux of the situation started in 2023. Okay. For context, I am not from the US, but instead a Caribbean country. Most of y'all already guessed it. I didn't, but that's fine. So I believe it was 2015 when someone who my family knew moved in next door to us. At that time, it was just a single mom with two kids. Now, because of the economy where I lived, even back then, times were hard for everyone, my family included. Times are always hard. They just are. Um, so they would always ask for assistance, such as salt, sugar, etc., etc. Even times they would come over to stay. I think this means even sometimes they would come over to stay of the day or whatnot, all day or whatnot. Never really an issue for me at the time. I don't know that that really matters. Um, the issue was when the single mom, well, technically she just didn't live with her man. Oh, had another kid with her man. Now it was three mouths for her to feed. When that happened again, they came over a lot more constantly, which we never minded since they wasn't over all the time and we'd go home in the evenings, but it was rising. Fast forward after the pandemic hit and it was 2021, they were over a lot. See, that would have been the perfect excuse to get them out. I'm sorry, it's COVID. You can't come in the house. I'm sorry. That's just me, and I'm not very nice. They would still ask for commodities, and I would always be the one to get it for them. So if they wanted salt, an onion, a tomato, etc., I would always be the one to help them. Heck, most times. Oh, okay. So I think there's some more backstory here. Sorry. Heck, most times they don't even go to my egg donor and instead just come straight to me if they wanted something. So she doesn't refer to her mom as her mom. Okay. But the main issue that I was having was that they were eating a lot of our already diminishing food. And I was saying to my egg donor, would never call that piece of trash mom. Okay, there's a whole lot of context missing, I think. But anyway, that we can't keep doing it for the long run because we already don't have much. She told me to just shut up because we are helping them. For additional context, I was the only one doing 80 to 90% of the cooking. This sentiment was also shared with all of my older sisters. They are also garbage as well. Now, you might be wondering, what does that have to do with malicious compliance? Just continue reading and you will see. I hope so. This is a long post, so I hope you guys stick with us. Fast forward to 2023, the year it happened. My egg donor and her oldest cult member, i.e., her oldest daughter, were talking in a room in that house. I don't remember why, but I was outside. The lady sent over her youngest daughter to ask her something. So because I was outside, I'm like, okay, I'll go to see what she wants and get it for her. So I said, hey, what do you want? She replied she was going to ask my egg donor for it. I'm like, I could just get it for you. She was like, no. So I was like, just tell me what you want and I'll go get it for you. Then I heard her mom calling for her and I was thinking I was going to get it for her. Okay. A few days later, my egg donor called me and asked why I shouted at the lady's youngest daughter. I was like, I didn't. I only asked her what she wanted. Then she and I got into a back and forth where she was essentially saying I was wrong and I should have allowed her to come directly to her, and me saying I usually just assist them without you or anyone else being disturbed. Then she said these words. Okay, so we're to it. It doesn't matter. When they come over and ask for anything, just don't help them and make them come to me. Cue malicious compliance. Mind you, at this point, I already detested my egg donor and her daughters, so I was happy to oblige her and her command. Aha. What they didn't realize was the many times I had to help the neighbors when they asked for things and cooked for my neighbor's daughter as well. Yes, I was that dumb. Roast me for it. I don't care. The next time they came over to ask for something and they came to me, I just directed them to my egg donor or her daughters. Now realize this. I was doing this since I was 17 and I was now 23, and apart from my small suggestions, I never complained about it once. They could not even manage a few months without them complaining. They were like, every time they want something, they come over here and ask. If they want something to eat, we have to cook it for them, etc., etc. And I was just basking in it. I'll bet. Yeah, it's that's when people find out what you do when you stop doing it. I even remember one specific situation where one of my neighbor's daughters came inside my house and asked me for something. I said to her, go outside and ask my egg donor. She came back in and said, my egg donor said I should do it. I looked this young girl in the face and said, tell her that I said, sorry, struggling with this. I've been able to piece it together so far. Tell her that I said, if she wants you to have the thing, she should come in and give it to you herself. Man, my egg donor was mad about that, LMAO. And her anger about the situation just grew and grew, mostly because my egg donor would be sleeping and they come over to ask for something, and I would direct the kids and say to them, wake her up and ask her for what you want. Needless to say, they were very upset that they even asked me to go back out to help, and I said no. I hope you moved out. There's a whole lot here. We've got a little bit left. I'm sorry. Stick with me. Now, for additional context, remember when I said I would bring up concerns like we already have diminishing food and giving them anything? They said I was evil for not helping them out and talking about our diminishing food and how often they were visiting and sleeping over, etc., etc. A lot of etceteras. Well, fast forward to 2024. This situation sealed the deal. After years of buildup of their foolishness and abuse, and I had a big falling out with them, my egg donor and her daughters was complaining about how the kids was always coming over and always needing something. How they were always giving them something and having to cook for them and everything. All concerns that I raised up in the past, and now they saw why I had concerns about them. And when I said they were complaining so bad, I was like to myself, do y'all really love those kids as much as you claim? But then my moment came. Oh, okay, we're here. We're at the resolution. In the height of them complaining, I just burst out laughing and said, not to them directly, but was talking loud enough for them to hear, I remember when I said the same thing and I was evil. Man, look how the times have changed. Okay, that was a lot of buildup for that. I hope that was a really, let's see, LMAO never saw them that mad about me being right. They only said to themselves, who was talking to him about anything. Ah, so you're the only boy in a house full of girls? Yeah. Okay. And the funny thing, I never heard them complaining about it ever again because my egg donor shouldn't have given me that command, lol. No, I guess not. Yeah. Comments are kind of all over the place. TLDR, neighbors are frequently bar food. OP says, hold on, we need boundaries, and it's called evil. Neighbor kid asks OP for the adult. OP says, what do you need? I'll get it. No, I just want the adult. Back and forth. OP gets in trouble for yelling and is told to direct neighbors to the adult always. So they do. Everyone else gets pissed off and annoyed at the needy neighbors. Damn, it's almost like OP said they need boundaries. Yes. Okay. Very good. I mean, yeah, malicious compliance. Absolutely. You want to deal with it? I will let you deal with it. You can have all of it. You just take all of it. It's totally fine. Mm. So there's that. Yeah, and that was an older kid. But again, just be careful what you tell your kids to do because if they're good listeners, they're going to listen to the letter. And that might get you later. Uh, let's see. Ooh. Oh, sorry. I can't read anything that starts with "Hey party people, it's your boy Troy." No. No. I'm sorry. I can't. Okay. Um mm, uh, oh. Hmm. All right, let's do a work one because we like the work ones. So, this was posted 11 months ago in malicious compliance. Management treated us poorly. Excuse me. From Specialist Floor 6708. This was at a department store in the 90s. We worked on the loading dock. Management treated us like children. Of course they did. They hired a sketchy guy, but we got along. Pretty sure he was the reason we all had to take sexual harassment classes too. Awesome. One day there was an article in the paper. The guy had the same name, so we stuck it to the wall for him. Maybe he'll get a kick out of it. So he went into the service elevator and wrote crappy comments about us. We all got in trouble. Their instructions to me were to get rid of the writing. So I found the worst color paint I could find in the store, like deep burgundy. I decided I didn't want to look at that color every day. So I painted the inside of the elevator sky blue. The next day, I was approached by the security guards. Did you paint the elevator blue? Uh, yeah. He looks around to make sure none of the bosses are around, shakes my hand, and said, that's the most passive aggressive thing I've ever seen. Good job. The weird guy eventually got fired for hanging upside down from the railing system we used to move clothes right in front of the visible security camera. Funny tape. Sometimes still wonder if the elevator's blue. That is one way to do it. That is one way to do it. Um, so people are going on and on about like if there's a significance to the blue. Am I the only one who doesn't get the significance of a blue elevator? What difference does it make? OP says it was the most obnoxious color I had access to that I could handle. It was a passive aggressive way to say to follow orders. So yeah, it's just he was just picking colors and we're gonna drive him crazy. Okay, so that was a short one. That was good. I like that. Let's see. Oh, okay. Here's another work one. My boss said to stop putting papers on his desk. Okay. This was posted 10 months ago from DEDAYYT. Yes. Sorry, I just got a buzz. Back in the days before computers, everything was documented with paper. There was no email, no electronic memos, nothing. Everything was typed or handwritten. I was the office manager for a contractor. He, he, he. I was also the payroll department, accounts payable and receivable, accounting, and HR departments. Of course you were, because there were only two of you that worked in the office. Uh-huh. Papers were scattered. Oh, wait. The owner's desk was always a mess. Papers were scattered everywhere. Nobody had any idea what color the top of his desk was. He managed to work like that for years until the day he snapped. Okay, buckle up. Let's hear about the day this jackwagon snapped. One afternoon, I was waiting for him to sign a stack of checks. He was interrupted by an urgent call and couldn't find the contract that needed his immediate attention. He's He stood up and used his arm to sweep every piece of paper from the desk to the floor in front of his desk. It was like watching a ticker tape parade in slow motion. I don't remember ever seeing him so pissed off before. Then he yelled, "Nothing goes on my desk until I clean up that crap on the floor." Okay, funny man. We had 80 employees at the time who were paid weekly. Remember, this was before computers. We didn't allow signature stamps on checks. All checks and legal documents required his original signature. I hated to do it, but orders were orders. I tossed all paychecks, company checks, contracts, phone messages, bids, and contracts on the top of the pile of papers on the floor in front of his desk. I have to give him credit because it only took him 2 weeks for his stacks of paper to be in neat, organized piles on his desk, arranged around his desk calendar. Then he said my desk should look as organized as his. I told him to F off because my chaos was organized inside my head. And if he really wanted it cleaned off, he needed to stop giving me so much to do. I multitasked before it was a thing, and organizing my desk wasn't included. Edit. Just to clarify, his phone was on the credenza behind his desk. It was safe. He signed paychecks and worked on the mountains of piles from the top of the heap down to the bottom of the pile. Oh, first comment. And how long was it that people didn't get paid because he didn't see the checks on the floor? I just assumed that he was, I just assumed that was going to be part of the story. Uh, that's not, that's not the OP responding to that. Oh yeah. Days of paper checks. People would camp out at that desk on the clock waiting for their checks. People didn't say, "Oh well," back then. That is very true. And working for a contractor, yeah. Yeah, his subs were there like, "It's today. I got all day to wait." So, yeah. You ain't leaving until we're leaving, and we ain't leaving until we get paid. It used to be the thing. I'm either clocking out or leaving until I have my paycheck. Yep. Uh, yeah, that would be something. Um, you reminded me of my father's work office desk when I was a child. Every surface within arm's reach of the desk was piled a foot high with loose paper, except around the keyboard and a large enough spot to eat at or have one thing he was working on. Thanks for the nostalgia. Yeah, you can. I don't know. It's probably kind of a cliche that a contractor's desk is a mess. Let's do. Let's do one more. Okay. So this was posted 11 months ago. Okay. And OP is ZZ Del Marco. If anybody knows ZZ Del Marco. I wore a suit to work and got my supervisor soft demoted. Hmm. I'm posting mainly because I'm not a passive aggressive type and I'm in disbelief that this actually worked. Ever since I started at my job a few months ago, my supervisor, we'll call him Josh, has been micromanaging me. When I'm the subject of criticism, which is often, I try to give him the benefit of the doubt and ask him to clarify. What are your expectations? What specifically should I have done differently? I love that. Josh's responses are always vague, often something to the effect of, just do better. I even had a meeting with Josh and HR to address this, but to no avail. Of course not. HR isn't going to help in that situation. They don't care. Yesterday, Josh comes to my desk to tell me I need to dress better. Now, I work at a small company and the vibe is unusually casual. A not insignificant number of people come to work wearing jeans, hoodies, t-shirts, and or baseball caps. I've never worn a hat to work, and I make a point of wearing a button-up shirt with a collar every day. This particular day, I was wearing a long sleeve button-up flannel, chino pants, and Adidas Gazelles. Other days, I wear loafers and dress shirt that are tucked in. Aha. So, probably nicer dressed than the people around you. HR is there to protect the company. They are not there for the workers. That's why you should have a union. Anywho's be. So I asked Josh to clarify. Should I be wearing dress shoes, dress shirt, tucked in? What specifically do you want me to change? Josh tells me I just need to dress better and that I should talk to HR for clarification. So I go into HR and ask, what is the dress code? I get a standard answer: pants, closed toed shoes, no sleeveless shirts, etc. I ask, have I ever worn anything to work that poses a problem? HR says, no, you're fine. Because I'm mad, because my repeated efforts to resolve this kind of problem had gone unheeded, I decided to be petty. The next day, today, I showed up to work in a full suit. It's one I keep for events like weddings, so it's fitted and I look really sharp in it. It's also wildly and conspicuously overdressed for the office I work in. He, 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 he. I had several interactions with people coming to my desk to comment on my outfit and ask what the occasion was. When anyone asked, only if they asked, I told them I had been told to dress better. This was always met with disbelief and incredulity. Two people even said they liked the way I dressed normally. That's why I picked this one. Um, when anyone asked me who the order came from, again, only if they asked, I told them it came from Josh. I was expecting to pull my little stunt for a week just to prove a point and then go back to wearing what I had been wearing before. Word got around the office fast, apparently, because the CEO, Josh's direct boss, came to my desk later in the day to tell me I would be reporting to him now and that he'd be having a talk with Josh about this and other issues. It's important to note that I was Josh's only underling, so he effectively went from being a supervisor to just a regular employee. I'm on a bit of a high now. I think I'm going to come into work tomorrow wearing a different one of my flannels. Edit, because we love an edit or an update. This blew up fast. Thank you for all the support. No, this isn't AI, and I didn't use Chat GPT to edit for style or grammar. I generally like em dashes, and I use them regularly in writing. I promise. Oh, that was good. Oh, top comment says, dress for the boss you want to have, not the one you currently have. Absolutely. Uh, that's great. Uh, somebody else says, you need 37 pieces of flair. Absolutely. Freaking some sounds like somebody's having a case of the Mondays. Okay, so of course now it's going to go through a whole office space thing. Oh, but inside that, somebody says, my husband actually has a report at his job called TPS. It's actually called TP little a s or something like that. But they all call it TPS because of the movie and giggle like high schoolers. That is great. I love that. That means they've got a boss who has seen the movie too. And it was just like, we have to have these reports. Let's just call it this. That's awesome. Yeah. So most of the comments, it's just that. Uh, and that's how I ended up sitting in HR dressed as Batman. Yeah. Oh, so that's great. I think we will stop there, do a little bit more digging for next week. Um, next week is going to be pre-recorded, so it will still be at 7:30. I may be live in the chat, but we're gonna have a guest. She'll be here for the short stories on Wednesday, but I'm not going to make her sit and be quiet 2 nights in a row. So, because she'll have to, yeah, I'm not gonna be on the hearth. So, yeah, I'm gonna shut this down. Start getting ready for 9 o'clock for the hallowed hearth. We've got some stuff tonight over there. So check that out as well. Another reminder for you guys, Saturday from 3 to 4, Todd the Fox Music, who has been in our comments tonight, is going to be playing with a couple of other guys at the Sugar Maple Festival in Bellbrook, Ohio. I'll be there. Those are the days I get to play roadie, and I love it. I love it so much. Getting to help take everything over and get set up and then do the teardown and just get to sit and watch or take pictures and all that good stuff. So there's going to be food trucks. There's always food trucks. They've actually started calling for a nicer day. They were calling for rain for a while. But now that is supposed to be all cleared up and like 73 degrees. So come and hang out with me, watch the guys play some music. Um, get yourself a snack real quick, hang out with me in another hour over at the Hallowed Hearth podcast, also here on YouTube. And yeah, I'll see you guys really soon. Sounds like a busy week.